Hi everyone, welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time pedal show. My name is Gabor.
Hey, welcome. I'm Alex, and this is part 2 of the new REVV D20.
Or de, as they say in French-speaking parts
Do they?
of the world. Oui, oui. Okay, so we've got the REVV D20. Big thank you to Kyle and all the guys at REVV for being absolutely awesome and sending us one of these. Okay, part 1, which you can watch here, was all about the amp going into a speaker. What we're doing now in part 2 is we're going to use what is actually the really, really cool thing about this amp, which is the built-in 2-notes Torpedo load and cabinet simulation. And if I was Henning, I would make a... Hello, Henning.
Torpedo.
I would make a joke about Guillaume's Torpedo being in there and him leaving his load in there, but...
We're way beyond that.
We won't.
We're way beyond that.
We're way beyond that. Now,
How big is the load?
it's quite big.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so up the back, and I'll put a picture up of the back panel now. There's an XLR out, and there is a little switch next to the speaker output where you can turn the speaker output off, and you can actually unplug the speaker. You don't have to have a speaker plugged into it. It has a load connected, or it has a load built in, and then you can use the Torpedo output. Now, everything works the same as it always does up the front. So you've got gain, treble, mid, bass, and volume, and the gain knob you can pull out to get a boost, which gives you a bit of drive. You can still switch it down to 4 watts or 20 watts. But now what comes into play is this thing called pre and post, where you can actually send the signal to the cab emulation, either pre-power amp or post-power amp. And we'll get into that later as well. You've got the level control, which works for the headphone and also for the output of the cabinet emulation. And you've got this virtual cabinet rotary encoder up the front here, where you can store 6 presets here. You can store more in the hundreds because you have MIDI in the back as well, and you can store extrons via MIDI. But, I mean, 6 is probably more than you ever need anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can now see the computer screen, this is what's happening at the moment. So this is the software, the 2-notes Torpedo software, where you can edit speakers and stuff like that. So this is one of the presets. This is the preset that comes with the amp, preset 4, which is one of the REVV, was it preset 5? It's preset 5, sorry. One of the REVV 1x12 cabinets, mic'd with a dynamic 4-to-1 and a ribbon 1-to-1. And the room sound is switched off, which is why that background is black and white.
Yeah.
We also have, later on, which we might use, we have the Chase Bliss Dark World in the effects loop for some reverberization.
Cool. So, let's get some tones. At the moment, we're just set pretty clean.
Yeah.
Might even go. Should we go halfy-halfy?
Yeah, sure. Speaking of halfy-halfy, because one of the things you can do, I mean, the gain and the volume is how much you drive the power amp and the preamp, right? Gain is the preamp, volume is the power amp. But you do have an actual output volume, so you can, if you really wanted to, you could crank the gain and the volume, but turn this level down.
It's all gone. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So you got to think of it as this is your master volume, basically. It is a bit of a fiddly little thing, but I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, once you set it.
Once you set it, you pretty much set it. And then this is basically your preamp, and this is your power amp gain. So you can use only the preamps for gain stage. You can also add in some of that weight that you get from using the power amp, which are 6v6s, by the way, in here. Anyway, continue.
Okay. Yo.
So when I flicked through the presets, so the presets 2 to 6 are the ones that the amp comes with. Preset 1 is actually the one that I use at home, which I have on all my, I've got a Torpedo Live as well, and I've got a Torpedo Cab as well.
Yeah.
And I use that basically at home, which we'll get to later. Basically, you can see as I switch it here, it actually changes.
Yeah, that's what I was watching.
It changes the preset there, and if the background is black and white, it means you're not using the room sounds. If it goes to color, you're using the room sound. So in this case, it's what's called a cathedral setting, so you can get quite a epic reverb. So for example, if we do this.
Yeah, cool.
Or then you can go without it, or you can, whatever you want to do. And you can store that on there. You can make up 6 presets, or you can make up heaps more than that, but 6 that you can then change up the front here. So what we should maybe do is make up a preset.
Sure.
And one of the things I was thinking of doing is, because we always use a 1x12, an open back 1x12 cabinet with a Celestian greenback.
Yes.
Mic'd with an SM57. So what I thought is maybe we should make our own preset.
Our own virtual version.
Our own virtual version of the cabinet we use, and then maybe AB it. So let's try that, right? Because what you can do now, basically what we can do is we can go into here, go guitar, and go 1x12, and go G12M greenback open 1x12 Celestian. Now it's sitting in that. But we're not in a cathedral, so what we can also do is we can change the type. Oh, hang on, maybe we have to turn it on to do that. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Change it. So maybe like a studio, more like a studio thing. I think Studio A is to more muffled. Yeah, like that, because it's more like what you got.
Yeah, I've got a lot of dampening in there.
And we probably won't have a lot of room sound. And we could use 2 mics, but we'll only use 1 mic for the time being. Well, actually, it says you can only use 1 anyway, but we only need 1 anyway. So what we want is a dynamic 57.
Yep.
Kind of like what you got. Kind of like. Okay, and it's fairly close. Because one of the cool things you can do with this is you can actually grab the mic and move it around to wherever you want it to be. Yeah. So you can move it as close or far away as you want. It's pretty close mic.
Pretty close. From memory, it's about that far away.
Okay, so maybe we go...
and slightly off centre.
So maybe distance of what, in percentage, how far should we go?
What percentage? Not very many.
6%?
Yes.
8%, it just went there.
Perfect.
And axis, what percentage of axis should we go when 0 is right in the centre?
Maybe kind of where you had it by the looks of the image.
What? By there?
Yeah.
Okay.
14%.
13%, 14%. Okay, and we have everything else is off basically, except we've got a little bit of the room sound.
Okay.
Let's just see what it sounds like. Oh, hang on, let's turn that up. Does it sound anything like your speaker?
I think so.
Well, we've got the speaker. Should we try it?
Try
just AB it quickly?
Let's see how far.
So we've got to turn that switch, flick the switch.
So this is now the speaker. And this is back to the cab M. It's in the same world, isn't it?
It's. I mean, you can because it goes through the console and stuff, and there's a bit of EQ on it too, isn't there?
Probably, but not. Yeah.
Because you can EQ it on here as well.
Okay, let's see how close we can get.
Okay, so what do you want? What do you want? We've got. That's the different hertzages.
Oh, a bit of low mids and mids bass. Sorry.
So what? Like add a bit.
Yeah.
Like how much?
Yes.
5%? 5 dB?
It's probably lots, but yeah.
Oh, okay, less. My trackpad's not working properly. Oh, hang on, we've got to turn it on. Okay, now it's...
Okay, so this is the...
There you go.
This is the speaker. It's a little bit more scooped. The real speaker's a
The
bit
real
more
speaker.
It's the same world.
That's the official. So what you do with the 2-note stuff is you can go to the 2-note store and you can buy a lot of these cabinet emulations. And this is one of the official Celestion, made by Celestion IR.
Yeah, cool.
Not IR, so it's technically not an IR. I mean, it is an IR and it isn't, but it's their own cabinet emulation thing where you can move the microphone around and all that sort of stuff.
Back to the...
Speaker. Oh, that's this now. Okay.
What do you reckon?
That sounds pretty close to me.
It's not quite there, but it's definitely like all the same characteristics.
Yeah.
It's not worse or better, it's just different.
Yeah. And then if you
Slightly
want to,
more.
what you can do then, you can just press, if you want to save it, you can just press save up here.
Yeah.
Name it. So you press save. And so now you've got, so these are the slots. So you have, these are all the other slots you've got free. So you've got 128 slots free. Mm-hmm. Only 6 are you can get from the front of the the actual amp. But how about, let's save it as preset 3, because the 2x12 dry, I don't know if I'll ever use that.
Okay, cool.
Let's save it there. And let's call it...
Alex's Heaps Rad Awesome Cabinet. Not really.
Alex's Cab.
Cool.
And then in future, if we do more videos, it's there. This cannot be saved on Torpedo Preview. Oh, why is it preview mode? Oh, okay, yes, of course. Okay. This is what happens when you're a little bit silly. So what I actually got to do is the cabinet is on the computer, but not on the thing. So I actually got to take this and drop it onto here. So now that cabinet is added to the amp. So that cabinet is now in the amp.
Gotcha.
Or it's being moved onto the amp. So you don't have to have the computer connected. You disconnect it, and it is there.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
So it's finalizing it. It's sending it.
Ta-da.
Bob's your uncle. So there it is now. So then we can go back to the simulation thing. Oh, and now because it's on there, now we have the second mic as well.
Ah.
Oh, hang on, but we're going to. Oh, now it did. That's one of the annoying things. It did overwrite everything we just did.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we got to. Hang on. That's all right. We got to go back to here. 1x12 Celestion. I think that's still what it was, though.
Yeah.
I think the EQ is still what it was. It just changed the thing again. So we don't have to actually have the second. I mean, we could put a second mic there too, but we can just mute the second mic just to have the one.
See how we... It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Well, let's save that now. So save. Okay, we want to override it here. Oh, my trackpad's not working properly. Alex's Cab.
Nice.
Save. Bob's your uncle. So it's now saved as Alex's Cab.
Cool.
Hopefully. Yes, Alex's Cab. So now, if we do this... So save it. Now, the other thing you can do, because I mean, there's tons of things you can do. You can actually load your own IRs in it as well. So, for example, what we can do at the moment, this is a Buddha 4x12 IR that I downloaded it. They're now called Lancaster Audio. It was called something different then.
Okay.
But that's basically Lancaster Audio, a Buddha 4x12. So this is what a Buddha 4x12 sounds like.
Oh, okay.
So it's happening now.
She's thick.
She's thick. So what we can also do now is we can go to the IR manager and we can find not my invoices, but we can find my IRs. And we can go, so for example, these are all the sort of external IRs I have. So third-party IRs, but IRs as in what you would usually use in IR loaders, where you have a different snapshot for each mic placement and stuff. So you can't move mics around to just sit in one spot. So let's try there, because I do have a Celestion Greenback 1x12 open back.
Cool.
With a... so they're combinations usually. So this is a 57 and a 1-2-1.
That's cool. We'll try.
But let's try the low gain 1-2-1 57. So I've got to take this and drop it over here.
Yeah.
So now it goes onto the amp. Then I go into my IR loader.
Cool.
And in here now I should be able to change. Oh yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
To the greenback. And now we can turn the same EQ settings we had before on again.
Let's do a comparison.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very close.
That's closer again.
This is the again official Celestion IR, low gain IR with so it's got a 57 and a 1-2-1 on it.
Yeah.
Wherever they placed it, where they thought was the best spot to place it. Maybe ever so slightly brighter.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good though.
It's damn close.
So that's another one. And there again, so you can then load whatever ones you want. You've got tons of different whatever IRs you have, you can load into there.
Yeah. And if you're adventurous, you can make your own out of your favourite cabs.
Oh, here's for example. So here's a greenback just with the 57.
Oh yeah.
Do you want balanced, bright, dark, dark 2, fat, rear?
Balanced.
Or thin? Balanced?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's try that one just for something else, just to try out.
Yeah, cool. This is also great for recording if you want, like double tracking one part and you want to get a different tone for left and right, or you double track part.
Yeah.
You just grab a different cab, like it might be like a single 10 open back versus a quad box with the vintage 30s.
Well, and you can
instantly you got different tones that cut and have definition.
So you can actually have two different. Let's just start with just a 1. So we only have the 1.
Okay.
So this is just a 57 balanced.
This is the IR. You got a cab?
It's a bit different.
Bit more scooped, but still kind of the same world.
But see, what you can do, for example, now is you can turn the other one on.
Yeah.
And this one can be, for example, the one with the 1-2-1 and a 57. So you have both going.
So you can blend IRs.
You can blend the two IRs, yeah.
That's pretty neat. Down means down.
Yeah, I know, but my trackpad doesn't work properly.
Don't blame the tools.
And you can now, for example, you blend the massive Buddha 4x12 with the Celestian one. So there's a lot of bottom end from that Buddha 4x12.
Totally, yeah.
So I mean, so you can use their IRs, which I guess the thing with them is you move the mic around to wherever you want it, or the mics, you can have two mics, to wherever you want them to be. It's a bit easier to set up. With these sort of third-party IRs, like these ones from Celestian and the Buddha from Lancaster Audio, you use the specific whatever their preset is, so you can't move the mics around. That's just something you can't do. You can place them into the hello dog. You can place them into the different studio things. You can put it in a cathedral and still use the reverb from the cathedral.
Yeah, cool.
For example.
A little bit of reflection.
So you get different room sounds. Yeah. Now, the other thing you can do with it, if we go back to, so for example, let's go back to, I don't know, let's go back to one of the ones that you kind of like, which is this one. Okay, this one, for example.
Yeah.
What we can also do now, we have this pre and post switch. Aha. So at the moment, we're using the two notes torpedo signal that comes out is after the preamp and power amp. Right? So you get the sound of the power amp and the preamp. If you press pre, so what happens now is actually it bypasses the power amp. So the signal comes out of the preamp, which sounds, and there's a different sound to it. So this is just using the preamp now, not using the power amp. What you can now also do is on here, we can turn the power amp on. So it has power amp emulation, which you can turn on.
Oh, punchy.
So this is, for example, using EL34s instead of instead of 6V6s, which are in there.
Yeah, go on.
You can make them hotter.
Hui, yeah, it is. Yeah,
and you can make KT88, so you can change the valve, so you can change quite drastically what the amp sounds like.
I don't know much about the 88s, but I'm drawn to amps with them in it. in them, inside of them.
Well, I think aren't there valves that are used to using bass amps and stuff too, because they have really high, they don't break up easily.
Oh, is there more headroom?
I think they've got more headroom.
Cool.
I may be wrong. Leave comments below.
Yeah,
yeah, and then you've got a pentode or triode, which I have no idea what the difference there is as well. And cool. You can change the depth.
Okay, valve question.
Yeah.
You've got, say, EL34s and EL84s. Which are the big tube ones? Are they the 84s, the big tube? The big fat ones?
Oh, yeah, I don't...
Good question,
I think the 84s are the bigger one and the 34s are the smaller ones.
Yeah. Because someone was talking to was talking about the new Marshall amps and how they have the little ones, the little bottles valves.
I think that's 34s.
34s. Double check.
Could be wrong.
We'll leave comments and learn us about tubes.
Yes, but I mean, you can completely change the sound of the amp.
More a feel thing and a weight type.
So you can have 6L6s, EL34s, EL84s, or KT88s, and you can have them in SE or PP.
Ooh, let's go PP.
PP? Well, we're PP80. Let's go 34s, PP34s.
Okay, out of curiosity, let's go between 34s and 84s.
Okay, and with gain. I prefer the 34s.
What's that? Yeah.
That's 34s now.
Well, out of those two, yeah.
I prefer the 34s.
And those two, yeah.
But I mean, you can completely change the sound.
Yeah.
You can move microphones around. You can load your own IRs in. You can go to the two-note shop. You can try out all the cabinets. It's killer. So big thank you once again to Kyle and everyone at Rev Amps. Make sure to watch the other video that we did, which was up there earlier, about the amp going straight into the speaker.
Yep.
And make sure to subscribe, do all the stuff, linkage stuff.
Yeah, if you hit the notification bell when you subscribe and like on the video, it'd be much appreciated. And also there's links below to podcasts, Instagram, and Facebook world.
Been talking about this various thing. So thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.
Have a good time and playing guitar. I don't know. See you later.
Bye.